What's going on, ABA Nation? Commissioner Miskinnis here, and I wanted to introduce this video to you personally. We have gotten halfway through the ABA season. Through 3 games, 3 regular season games are left, playoffs, and then ABA finals. So we still have a lot of season left, and there's a lot to discuss moving forward, obviously, as we go through it, but we've been through a lot. And so there's gonna be takeaways from what we've been through. And one of the best parts about this league is the amazing people, the amazing personalities that we have. So, halfway through the season, let's take a look at some of the personalities and what they have to say about the ABA's first half. Take it away.
What's up, ABA Nation? This is Max from Marksman Basketball. Just here to talk about some of my takes for the season so far. After 3 weeks, halfway into our season, I think there are 3 players that are the most impactful for their teams, them being Wes, Big A, and Nik Big A, most efficient scorer in the league, over 50% from the field goal. The only person that can do that. Is super good on offense. You know, he draws so many people in that it makes it so hard to guard him. Nik highest points per game with 12 points per game. He scored 12 points in both games he's played. He's 31% from the field, 31% from the 3. 11 rebounds per game. You know, that's really solid play from a player that, you know, hasn't had a lot of experience in this league. You love to see it. And last but not least is my teammate Wes, who has scored the most points in the league across 3 games, but he's also shot the most shots out of these 3 games. He is shooting 33% from the field, 19% from 3. You'd like those 3-point percentage to go up, but you know, he's averaging 9.7 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game. It's almost 10. He's almost averaging a double-double. The only thing I'd have to say is I hope that he starts to use his size to get to the paint a little more than shooting these threes. But, you know, when he's making these shots, you can't tell him to stop. You know, it's like he makes some tough buckets go down, and we're very grateful on the Marksman for that. So if I had to pick one player that's been the most impactful, I might say Nik just because he's such a savant when it comes to scoring, and then his defense has improved so much. I think that he has a right to be in the captain conversation. I think you have to include Big A in that as well. I think Wes has a solid chance to be a captain, but as of right now, I think he needs to get his efficiency a little better, and his shot selection needs to improve a little bit. But that's just me being harsh. But that's all I got for now.
Howdy. Name's Tex Johnson, and my role in this here life of mine is to be the agent and a representation of the one and only Rattler, Nolan Anson. Commissioner Miskinnis approached me a little while back, asked me if I wanted my client to appear in a video. Now, the position of my client is that he's God's gift to the ABA, and they are lucky to have him in it. Anything outside of his contractually scheduled appearances during the games, well, he has to be compensated for because of the entertainment and engagement that he provides. Commissioner Miskinnis was not willing to meet the financial demand for this here video, but out of the kindness of my client's heart, he decided he would still take part in some form. And so he told me, he said, "Hey Tex, can you deliver my takeaways for the video? If they can't pay to have me there, I would still like to have my presence felt, even if my beautiful face is not gracing the YouTube page." And I said, "You know what? You're a good man, Nolan Anson. You're a very good man." So here we are. I'll be delivering his takeaways. So let's start with takeaway number 1. And that's the importance of the 2-point shot. Now, to me, this one was obvious, but to Mr. Anson, he described it to me so eloquently, so expeditiously, that I felt like I had to deliver it exactly as he described. The 2-point shot is so important, especially this year, because Mopo's 2-pointer, well, it's closer than Pinewood's. And because it's closer, we've seen a lot more go in, and the teams that are hitting them, well, those are the teams that are winning. So Mr. Anson so specifically cited that the teams that hit 2-pointers are winning the games, and it's extremely important because the teams that aren't hitting the twos, they're losing the games. So you need a team that can get hot at the right time from downtown, or else you're not going to win the ABA championship. And that's takeaway number 1. I'll pass it along to whoever's coming next, but I can assure you this much. We will be back with takeaway number 2.
How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Nik and from Ballsack Sports, the most reputable news source on the entire planet. And today, we're going to be talking about the best league on planet Earth, the ABA. Now, the first thing I want to get into is just the state of the league as a whole. This league is the tightest the league's ever been. This is shown by the lowest point differential halfway through the year being -2 with Slateport City. And even then, Slateport City has a bunch of really good players who I'll talk about later when we get into some award conversations. But yeah, they're -2, and the highest is a +1 with the Marksmen. And the Marksmen have a +1 point differential despite being 1 and 2 as well. The Hearts are 2 and 1 while having a completely even point differential. Every team has talent, and that's especially shown with last week's Player of the Week, Matt Newman, who dropped 8 points. And these 8 points were extremely crucial towards their win, with 5 of those points being clutch points, and he ended up winning his team the game that week. And this just shows that any player on any team can be the difference between winning or losing, and that is what makes the ABA the greatest league on planet Earth, especially the 5th season of the ABA, this current season.
All right, so let me get started with my first takeaway as I stand back in the gardens of Casa Mesquinas. My first takeaway has to do with our lovely teams in the league, and similar to maybe one other takeaway that you might see, the parity. It is a very close and contested race this year in the standings. I genuinely can see a pathway for all 4 teams to not only place first but win the title. And the same respect, I can see a pathway for all 4 teams to place 4th and miss the playoffs. So what I'm gonna do for this first takeaway is I'm gonna just rattle through our 4 teams, and in as few words as possible, I'm going to tell you 1 strength and 1 weakness for each of them. And we'll start in the bottom of the standings. Marksman basketball. Strength, versatility. They can beat you in a bunch of different ways, more so than any other team. They got a tray ball, they got size, they got good ISO basketball. Weakness, off-ball movement. Off-ball movement on the Marksman, if you look at the tape, is a little shaky. There are screens that are being set, not being used. Who knows? A lot of ISO ball, and as much as that can be a strength, that can also be a weakness. That could be their undoing. I already feel myself saying too many words, so we'll go on to the Sapphire. This one's really simple. My team, I know them better than anyone else. Strength, shooting. We can shoot the ball, and 2s are better than 1s. We are good at shooting, and we have a bunch of guys that can make their shots, and we got 1 guy here that's gonna get those boards and give them more time, more shots, and when those shots fall, we are all over it. Weakness, shooting. Shooting is a fundamental aspect of basketball. Live by the 3, die by the 3. Our game plan is 2-point, 2-point, 2 points, and when those are not falling, we are in trouble. Even if I'm getting the boards and giving us more looks, more opportunities, we are in trouble if we are not making our shots. And there's been moments where you see my team is like a roller coaster. So hopefully we stay on the up, but if we're too far on the down, that will be our downfall. Going on to the Vice, strength, movement. Their movement is amazing. Velzy is one of the best on-ball and off-ball movers in the league. Tedesco's been insane. He's got great handles, great shooting touch, And with DeAndrea in the paint and two versatile options on the bench in Jake Ferrari and Tom Lynch, their movement, fantastic. That's what sets them apart. Weakness, mindset. I don't think they have the mindset. Velzy is an amazing player. I think Velzy's an amazing captain. I think sometimes he kind of waits too long to use his timeout if the other team's on a run, and that's what happened last game. And then we have Hearts. Hearts' strength, bully ball. They are going to bully you. Gabe is one of the best defensive players in the league, if not the best. Ashton is one of the best players in the league, if not the best. Newman is one of the best shooters in the league, if not the best on his day. And that is saying Joel off the bench. That's a great option off the bench if he can get his stuff together. And also Dan Kelly, Dan the man, goated, everyone knows, fan favorite. Weakness, I'm going to say the weakness for them is consistency. Now that goes for everyone, but with the Hearts specifically, I think when they're on, they are unstoppable. I think when they're off, they're off. So similar to the Sapphire shooting, I think that there are stretches of time where the Hearts are gettable and you have to really attack during those stretches. So this is the strengths and weaknesses for every single ABA team, in my opinion. To start off, that's my first takeaway where we've been. And without any further ado, I'm gonna pass it off to our next presenter for their next takeaway.
Next, I want to talk about the players who I feel like have been a bit lackluster this year. I feel like they have a lot of room for growth. And two of these players actually have a rivalry from a past season, them being Joel and Aaron. Both players average 1.7 points per game, not very efficient. Joel is shooting 14% from the field. Aaron is shooting close to 21%. So you got to give Aaron the edge there. But the only thing is that Joel plays a bit more hero ball. He takes a lot of shots. And if they're not falling, he's just going to keep shooting. Aaron, he doesn't have as big of an ego, I would say. So if he can't really get going in the beginning, he'll start using his ball IQ to get good looks for his teammates. That being said, Joel has made a 3. Aaron has not. Aaron has shot 6 threes. He's yet to make one. Joel has shot 10. He's made 1. If I had to give an edge to somebody, offensively it would be Aaron. Defensively it would be Joel. Joel's got 2 blocks and a steal. And he's got slightly more rebounds. Another player who I think needs to step it up a bit is Nolan. He's got better efficiency than both players. 23, close to 24%. The only thing is that he's averaging only 1.7 points per game, just like Aaron and Joel. He's taking less shots, and he's playing better defensively than I would say both players. But the big thing that jumps out at me about Nolan is he's taken 8 threes. He hasn't made one yet. So if I had to give any suggestion to any of these players is, go practice, get some shots up. I think if anybody has the most potential, I would probably say Nolan, just because he knows what his job is on the floor. He's to play good defense, but if he can add some shooting into his bag, he would be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm going to say Nolan is my shot at having the most potential.
Welcome back, Tex here, and I'm going to deliver the second takeaway now. Much similar to the wooden balls behind me in my home down in South, as we're doing some renovating on the electrical, you need to have good spacing in the basketball court as well. Mr. Anson's second takeaway, well, it has to do with just that, spacing. He said that spacing, because of the corner 3, has become even more vital to having success on the court down at Mopo. Now, that makes sense to me. The way he explained it was, Tex, the corner 3 opens up the baseline and the entire rest of the half court from there on out. Because now you have to worry about a shooter pulling up from the corner for 2 instead of 1. And we all know, we took elementary grade school classes that told us 2 is greater than 1. But we don't want them to be the 2s, because we are the 1s. And the ones that are going to win, well, those are the ones that are going to be hitting the 2s. And the 2s are going to be easier to hit when your 1s get more space. which happens with a corner too. That is exactly as he put it to me, and I just read it right off of the prompter that's being held up behind the camera. That's his second takeaway. The importance of the twos, the spacing with the corner twos, those are two of the keys that you need to remember, according to my client, Mr. Nolan, if you want to win the ABA championship. I got to get back to work down here. So off with you. On to the next presenter. Bye.
Next, we're going to get into the award conversations. Personally, it's hard not to be biased, especially when a couple of my teammates are definitely up there for awards. But first, we're going to go over the more subjective awards. We're going to start with fan favorite. We already know who's going to win the fan favorite award. It's going to be Dan Kelly. How could you not love the guy? The best person ever to exist on planet Earth. We love you, Dan. Next, we're going to go with Cheese Champ. And I know, Nolan Anson, easy pick for Cheese Champ. But I feel there are some new challengers. This year, I think it's a three-way race between Nolan, Gabe, and Jake Ferrari. And me personally, I'm going to go with Jake Ferrari as my Cheese Champ so far. His chirps against Gabe this last week that we played put him right up there for me. And as of right now, I'm going to go with him as Cheese Champ instead of Nolan or Gabe, just because he's my teammate and I want to see my teammates win every award. Next, we're going to go with most improved player, and for me, this is an easy one too. Eric Sinkowski is going to win most improved player pretty handily, in my opinion. He's consistently grown as a player every single year, and this year he's top 5 in points per game with 7 points per game. He's a lethal 2-point shooter, and I just have loved to see his development. As a former most improved player myself, I would love to see him win that award. Next up, we're going to talk about Defensive Player of the Year, and I think that I'm definitely top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year right now, averaging 14.5 rebounds per game and 1.3 steals per game. But I feel like there are 2 players who are probably ahead of me in the race as of right now, and that is Max and AJ. Now, Max, obviously, we all know he's very good offensively and defensively. For me, he's a nightmare to play against. I always play bad whenever I have to play against him. He's averaging 13 rebounds per game while also having 3 blocks in 2 games and 2.5 steals per game. Now, those stats are amazing, but give me AJ for Defensive Player of the Year. He's got 2 blocks in 3 games. He's averaging 1.3 steals per game as well, just like me. And 17 rebounds per game? This guy just wants it more. And because he's shown how much he wants it, I'm going to give him DPOY as of right now. DPOY could easily change as the season goes on. I think it's very close between us 3, but for right now, I'm going to give it to AJ. I feel like he deserves his flowers. And lastly, we're going to talk about the MVP race. And I think Nik is definitely my front runner for MVP right now. He's averaging 12 points per game, which is about 2 points per game higher than the second highest with Wes. Nik has 12 points per game while also averaging 10 rebounds per game and 2.5 assists. Granted, he's only played 2 games instead of 3, but you can see the impact that he makes when he's there versus when he's not there. Wes is averaging 10 points per game and 10 rebounds per game, which for me puts him at second in the MVP race, but I do think that Nik is my front runner. Now, I also want to give a shout out to Big A, Ashton Kasperzak. He is averaging 8 points per game on 52% from the field, which in this league is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. I could see an argument for him being up there for MVP, but when you got a guy like Nik averaging 12 points per game, it's pretty obvious that he's deserving of MVP. And one other shout out will be for Max. As previously said, he's averaging 2.5 steals per game. He's got 3 blocks in 2 games, 13 rebounds, as well as 8.5 points per game and 2.5 assists per game. That's why the MVP race is still definitely up for grabs, even though Nik is averaging 12 points per game currently. I could definitely see it flipping with a couple good weeks from any of the other 3 listed. But give me Nik DeBesco for MVP. Give me AJ for DPOY. Give me Dan Kelly for fan favorite. Give me Eric for most improved. And give me Jake Ferrari for cheese champ.
And we're back with another one of my takeaways from the ABA season now that we're halfway through. I'm coming to you from my car outside of Crunch Fitness. Shout out Crunch Fitness. Sporting the Jeff Skinner Buffalo Sabres shirt because the takeaway that I have regards our back-to-back most improved player award winner, Nik DeAndrea, who is known to frequent Crunch Fitness, noted Sabres fan, don't have any West Ham merch, but Nik DeAndrea's won most improved back-to-back years, and one of my takeaways from this season so far is that most improved is one of the most competitive award races, I think, right now. And I feel like people are kind of sleeping on it because there are 3 candidates for this award right now that are genuinely in the running. To start, I got to shout out my own teammate, Eric Sinkowski, who is having arguably his best ABA season ever, carrying over the momentum from the preseason, hitting clutch buckets, and being top 5 in the total scoring for the league, which is something that I think Eric himself would tell you he did not see coming. But he is playing fantastic ball for the Sapphire. He's got to be in the most improved conversation. Speaking of another player who's playing fantastic basketball, this one's a little bit more recent, but Matt Newman, I think if he can string together more performances like his last one, I think he's got a real good shot at the award. Matt Newman, who burst onto the scene with a fantastic 2-point shot and unstoppable post game, had kind of an off year last year, but he is back and better than ever. And especially with this season tracking clutch points, he has come up clutch time and time again. Our voters are going to have to think about how much they're going to value clutch points, because if they're valuing clutch points in this award a lot, Matt Newman's name is going to get tossed around there. However, the front runner for this award, as much as I'm repping Nik DeAndrea because he is Mr. Most Improved, I do think that we get a new winner this year. And that winner, if I had to predict for now, would be Nik DeBesco. So same Nick, different last name. First initial in the last name is the same, so 2 Nick D's. Same team. DeBesco's been insane this year. He's come back better than ever, fitting like a glove, dominating 2 player of the weeks. I personally was sleeping on him a little bit. I will be the first to acknowledge it, and that's why I will also be the first to say that this man deserves most improved player, even if he's in MVP conversation as well. I think that he has been leaps and bounds better than he was in his debut season, and we're only halfway through. So we'll see if he keeps this momentum moving forward, but I do strongly believe, as I'm outside of Crunch Fitness, that Nik DeBesco should be most improved. We've had a bunch of guys that have improved, but Eric, Newman, and Nik DeBesco, I think, are my 3 contenders, and they're definitely worthy of a shout out on this video of takeaways. So without any further ado, I will let the next presenter take it away.
And lastly, I want to go over our captains. So far, it's been a bit of a regression for all of our captains. I know Gabe used to average about 8 or 9 points. He's averaging 4.7 points per game. Ashton has also regressed. He's now only at 5.7 points per game. AJ, 3.7 points per game, and me too, I've gone down a bit. I'm at 8.5 points per game. Looking at the field goal percentage, it looks like I'm the most efficient with 36.5. But going over everybody's strengths, Gabe is definitely the most impactful player on defense. 4 blocks, 5 steals. I'm right behind him though with 3 blocks, 5 steals. But Gabe takes the cake with less turnovers. But then there's me. I have a little more rebounds and I have a little more assists. AJ though blows everybody out of the water with rebounds. He also is making a case for Depoy with 2 blocks, 4 steals, and he's averaging 2 assists per game. Solid player. The only thing that's really dragging him down is he's 1 for 11 from the 3, and I honestly would say the same about Gabe. He's 1 for 13 from the 3. You know, I haven't taken a lot of threes. I've been lucky to knock down 2 of my 5. But then Velzy, you know, he's more of an old-fashioned guard. He isn't a great defender. I will say that. He's not clamping up the player you need to stop in crunch time. He will get to his spot, though, and he will knock down some threes. He's made 6 threes. He's taken a lot of them, though, 33. But his field goal efficiency is still decent, 21.5. The only thing that's a little scary is he's got 8 turnovers. And, you know, he's not getting a lot of boards. But if I had to say one captain is, I don't know. If I had to say a best captain, I'm going to say me. I'm biased. But if I had to say a captain that needs more work and needs to be in the conversation of am I going to be a captain this year and needs to start worrying about improving, I might have to say Ashton. And that's coming from one of his best friends. I think Ashton has a lot of potential, and I think he needs to step up his game. But yeah, that's going to be Max from Marksman Basketball signing out. Peace.
What is going on? I am back for my final takeaway, and I was asked to give 3 takeaways, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing on this last one. So I'm going to do more predictions. I'm going to do a quick takes prediction. You got him in the last one that I think Nik Tabesco is going to win most improved. So let's rapid fire, no explanations, this next little bit here. Final standings, this is how it's going to be. 1 seed Hearts, 2 seed Sapphire, 3 seed Vice, and the Marksmen missed the playoffs. No explanations are going to be had right now. Vice, Sapphire, gonna play a game. And even though the Sapphire are gonna win, in these quick takes, the Vice are gonna win. And the Vice are gonna face the Hearts in the final. And unfortunately for everyone, just like last week when it got rained out, a big rainy thunderstorm cloud is gonna hang over the ABA as Gabe Christopher gets title number 3 and the Hearts win. But Big A gets a title, and so does Joel, and so does Dan, and so does Newman, so there's a plus there. But Gabe's getting title number 3. And finals MVP, going to Ashton Kasperzak. Who else? Come on. Or Matt Newman, it's gonna be Big A though. Quick takes, on to the next. We're gonna say that the most improved, Nik Tabesco, continuing on. We're gonna say that the clutch player of the year, Matt Newman. No further questions, please. Cheese champ, Jake Ferrari. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind that's what's happening. So let's move on to the next one. Depoy, listen, there are certainties in life. Life, death, taxes, Gabe Christopher winning Defensive Player of the Year. As much as I'd love for it to be someone else, it's gonna be Gabe. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I think that's what the voters are gonna look at and see based on the stats at the end of the year. Next question, already kind of been explaining for too long. MVP, let's say the MVP is Ashton Kasperzak. About time he ended up winning one of these. No explanations though. We are on to the next one, and checks notes, there are no more awards to talk about. So let's just talk about what we are looking at. I think the forecast for the rest of the season is going to be very entertaining. This is the closest season we've had. In my personal opinion, this is the most interesting season we've had in recent memory because all 4 teams have a real shot at this. Both ways. So stay tuned. I know that we got big things planned on the Sapphire. We're planning on making it rain. I'm gonna send it over to the next presenter. AJ, out.
And the last thing I want to talk about is not something that I want to talk about, but it's something that needs to be addressed. Now, I got one person that I just need to start doing better, and that player is Joel. Joel, man, you have the talent. You're a good basketball player. You are way better at this sport than I am. But 14% from the field, bro. Come on. You're better than that. I know you're better than that. You know you're better than that. The whole league knows you're better than that. On your day, you're a top 5 player in the league. You just gotta put it together. I know it. I've seen the flashes. When you first joined the league, you were on fire. I believe in you. And I feel like the rest of this season, you're gonna bounce back. But someone's gotta say it so you do bounce back. Anyways, I've been Nik from Ballsack Sports. Thank you, AJ, for letting me feature on this episode. I appreciate it. I hope the rest of the season goes fantastic. Go Vice. Peace.
Oh, welcome back. Time to get into the third of Mr. Anson's takeaways from the ABA season this far. And I don't want to string you along any farther than we already have. You're deep in the video. I would assume that this is the closer that he uses in the edit. I don't know too much about editing, but you always save the best for last. And Mr. Anson is certainly the best, so why wouldn't he be last? Well, he was last one time in the second of a draft, but we digress about that because he redeemed himself more so than anyone else has ever redeemed themselves in this league. We march on. His third takeaway, one word: parody. And not parody like the songs Weird Al Yankovic makes. No, parody like level, like equality, like everything is close. Closer than a pig to the mud after it rains. Closer than me to the all-you-can-eat buffet after it opens. Closer to Nolan Anson to the Cheese Champ Award when it was first introduced. Now, this league is very close as we are halfway through the season. 2 1-2 teams, 2 2-1 teams. Only one game separates the two of those groups. And every game feels like it's been super close. Mr. Anson told me to stress this one to you. Nolan sees it as it is. The playing field is level. The teams are even. No trades appear to be on the horizon. This is how it is going to be moving forward. Close. The parity has been amazing. There has been heroes coming from the left, coming from the right, coming from the center. Guys that you would expect to be great, being great. Guys that you would expect less of, showing out. Guys that you would expect more of, taking a backseat and letting other guys step up. It's been amazing. So stay tuned. Until then, I've been Tex Johnson, representing Nolan Anson to the absolute best of my abilities. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta get back to work. Down south, the work never stops, and we always work until we drop. It's been a pleasure. Take care and say hello to your mothers for me.
And there you have it. Those have been some takeaways from some of the lovely ABA personalities. Before I hit the outro, I just want to give a quick shout out to Max, Nik, AJ, and Nolan through his representation of Tex Johnson, Diva Alert, for being in this video. We appreciate them letting their voices be heard. If you want your voice to be heard, you agree, disagree with the take heard in this video, sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you really like this video and you're not already yet, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell if you want to be notified of any ABA videos before they come out, and tell all your friends about the absolute peak of ABA basketball, the best basketball league specifically localized in Western New York and North Tonawanda. That's a pickup basketball league that plays outside of Mopo. I'm a little biased when I say that because, as always, I'm your commissioner, AJ Miskinnis, reminding you to stay locked in, ball up top. ABA summer's here and the grind don't stop. All of you take care and have a great night.